When you're looking to invest in coins or stocks, there are certain questions that need to be answered. Hey, everyone, thank you for joining our channel. Please like, subscribe, and share because if you share, you care. At CeoTrades, where money works for you, we're here to answer some questions that have been asked in our AMA session. So here we go. Number one is Suku. I was asked by some of the members that I am in a specific group stating that they purchased this one at $1.13 several weeks ago. And what has happened? So that's what we're looking at here is Suku. Suku had wonderful news once it was released into Coinbase. But what happened? You can see it went up for about 2 or 3 days. And then, boom, it just went right back down. But if you just look at this chart, you can't tell the whole story. And that's the issue. You got to look at the whole story. Now, because I'm on Wi-Fi, it might take a few seconds to load up here, but you can see here that this is pretty much a wave pattern. There is no consistency. There is no long-term hold in place that can tell you, okay, if I purchased here and I hold up to here and then sell up here, okay, that's fine. But what happened to this year? Why didn't you make any money here? Anywhere here. If you purchased down here, you could have made money anywhere in here from May 1st, March 1st, 2021, all the way through, let's say, June 1st, 2021. You could have made some money. You could have made some money. And then all of a sudden, it drops right back down, and you have July 15th all the way to at least August 12th, so almost a month as well, to jump right back in and then jump out anywhere in here again, right? And then wait for it to jump down. I don't know how far it was going to go down. No one can really tell. But when you saw it picked up a little bit, you could have picked up anywhere in this area right here, which you would have had a few days to pick up right in there and then drop out anywhere here. You catch my drift? People are asking me, why hold this for the long term? You can hold it for the long term. That's fine. But guess what? Somebody else is going to be making money while you're investing. You're investing for the long term. Fine. Crypto doesn't necessarily work in that space. It doesn't necessarily work in that space because while others are making money in the 3 points that I just referred to you, guess what? You're losing. You're losing. Even if it goes up higher, unless you're able to get out, you're always going to be down. Right now, I know that 2 or 3 people have asked me in reference to Suku, what happened here? Because I told people, don't purchase them. Don't purchase. I told them to invest certain percentage points into it. And look at where it's at right now, 50 cents. It was even lower than that. If we look into this, it was down into the 46 cents area. That's half of here. And in the same question I was asked, should they sell? That's a big question. Should they sell? Well, if you look at my earlier session today, I answered the question, why do people lose money in crypto and stocks? This is why people lose money in crypto and stocks, because they sell and they buy at the wrong points. And maybe it was a good point to buy up here. However, there are certain factors that can tell you why it's not a good point to buy up here. And that's what we attempt to show you in our trading program. And if you're interested, you can look up at ceodaviddiaz.com. It's going to be a very powerful program that will teach you the methods so that you avoid these questionable investment schemes, which are good for the long term. However, you've got to be able to jump out eventually. Now we know that if we look at this chart again, guess what's going to happen next? If it's down here, guess what's going to happen? Eventually, it's going to go up, and it's going to go up somewhere in this range between the $1.50 and the $2.50 range. I would say probably to the $2 range, not $2.50. That might be a little too much to ask for. But if it goes anywhere in here and you're at 50 cents right now, guess what? You're going to make money. Even if you purchased at $1.13, $1.30, you're going to make money if you hold off until you get to $2. Don't wait until it hits $2. Maybe it's going to hit 183 and you should sell at least half of whatever it is so that you make some money. The game of this is not to hold for the long term, just like Bitcoin started and plenty of people were made billionaires or millionaires or uh, thousandaires. Well, guess what? That time has passed. And maybe it's possible that it will come back, but the reality is the reality. It hasn't come back in several years. And we've seen that in the past year, some of these coins that are really good to invest in, just like Suku is a very good coin to invest in, you've got to take some gains. If you don't take gains, then somebody else is going to do it for you. And that's why I tell people, okay, right now, Suku is at 50 cents. I'd say if you had the rest amount invested down here between the 40 cents area and the 50 cents, that's good hold for at least $1.75 or so, $1.80 if it breaks $1.75. Because if it doesn't, I would cash out just below that, 170, 160 or so in there, at least half, because you want to take some gains. You want to be able to get some returns. This is not a place to hold for the long term. I mean, those who alert you on saving for the long term, you've got to question their motives. Show them to ask them to show you their returns, their proven returns. Because if they don't have proven returns, then guess what? They're just guessing just like you are. I just showed you how you could have made money in here. This is how anyone that can make money, you can make money here. And that's why Suku is one of those coins that is great to invest in, but you've got to know when to jump in and when to jump out. So I just gave you an idea of how I would do it there. Now let's take a look at Filecoin. This has been asked a question, sorry, by one of the newer members in our group who asked me to cover Filecoin. Now Filecoin is a very good coin to invest in. However, I want to show you this. Let's see if this chart pulls up here. Now this was when it spiked very high, October 16th. I would say that's when it started. This coin started and it hit 430 up here, I believe is what the high was. 430-ish right here. Yep, that's what we have, 430. And then all of a sudden it dropped immensely. Why did that happen? We don't know why. I just know that there was hype. I'm presuming. I'm not going to look into the news and see what the historical information is on that. But then all of a sudden it flattened and it stayed at about the 30-ish level, maybe below that 24-ish. And then it went back up to 247. If you purchased anywhere in here, I mean, hey, not good. If you purchased down here, great. But when were you taking gains? Or were you expecting it to go back to up to 430? When you're at $30 and it doubles, take some gains. You don't have to wait until it gets to 240 because you don't know when it's going to happen again. I mean, look at this chart. Does it ever happen again? No, it hasn't happened yet. Now, is it a good time to invest now? Yep. I would say yes. This is a good time to invest in. If you invested anywhere above here, I mean, you're going to be holding it for a longer term. I don't know how long, but this one doesn't look like it's going to come up that quickly anytime soon, because if in the last 2 years, it has not gone above that $200 mark, that $100 mark went up this day, which was a fluke on December 4th, a few days ago. You weren't going to catch that because it just went right back down. No, it's not showing. I don't know what here. It seems to show that it went to, what was it? 65, not 100, 65, somewhere in here. And will this go back up? Eventually it will if there is news. I haven't done any research in reference to this one. I know it's a great coin, it's a great investment, but I don't know if it is right for the long term. Although it's at 37 right now, I'd say if you wanted to purchase in, this is a good time to purchase in, but you've seen the chart, it's going down. What are the chances of it going down further? There's a good chance that it will go down further because I haven't seen it pick up. I mean, it did have some support here back in July 22nd, and then it went up, but it's right back down to where it started from July. It seems to be holding support right in there at the 34-ish level, and that's one of the reasons why it might be good to pick up some there if you're interested in holding this one for the long term. However, I don't see this working in my favor. Maybe it works in yours, but I don't see it working in my favor. I wouldn't invest a lot of money into this one because it's speculative. You don't know where it's going to go, and as what we're seeing here, this trend, it's a downtrend. It's going right down. It's not, doesn't seem to be doing anything else except it tried here, and it went right back down. So this is Filecoin. If we need to invest, research more information into this, I ask you just send me an email, ceodaviddiaz@gmail.com, and put in the subject line Filecoin, and we'll check it out and see what you want to know about more in reference to this. But aside from that, if you have money invested, and let's say you invested in the 80-ish or in this level here in the 60, what do? Well, hold. Because if you sell down here, then you're going to sell for a loss. But I don't know where this is going to go. You've got to have a limit. Let's say you purchased at 60 and now it's at 37. What do? Do you keep holding? It might be worthwhile to hold for a few days and watch it. If it goes below 35, you might want to sell. If not, hold for the longer term. This coin should come back up. Although I don't know the full analysis behind this coin, I believe eventually it will come back up because I see it has steady volume. And that steady volume means that there are people purchasing and there are people selling at the same time. One other coin that we're going to look at is Avax Avalanche. Now, this one here is a completely different story compared to Filecoin. You can see it started out down here, somewhere around $5-ish area, and it went up to 59, down to 11, and back up to 140. Now, this is a better pattern for me because I see it's on an uptrend. And even if this doesn't go up here, I know that the chances are it will go up. So down here would have been great to purchase at 73 and get out at 100 where it's at right now. That's a great return right there. Wait to see what happens, whether it's going to go up or not. You can see here what's formulating. I'm not looking at its at a minute chart. Now here you can see even much clearer what's happening on a day basis. This is what happened all day. You can see it went lower here at 98 and then it went up to 104. So we'll see what happens right here if it holds off. But in reference to the daily chart, this looks like it could be a better hold than actual Filecoin is right now because it is on an upward trend and I like it. And I know it's rated up there. I believe it's number 10 on the coin list. I mean, I'm not going to look into that right now, but I do know that it is much better chart than Filecoin or Suku right now in reference to its upward trend. Is it the right time to buy at $100? I mean, I would not invest a lot of money into this right now. Maybe if it were down here, I would invest. I would watch it because you see how it went up to 60 and then it went back down to 12. This is going to happen again. It was at 145. And this could be instead of a breakout right here, right where we're looking at, instead of a breakout, it could be a fake out because it dropped a little bit here. Let's see what happens by tomorrow or by the weekend. And once that happens, it might go down even further, like somewhere to the 40-ish area, and then it would be good to purchase. Don't buy right now because it already hit its high, and I don't see it going back up. It's actually going down, a lower high, and there's chances are it's going to be a lower high. It's going to hit somewhere in the 90-ish area in the next day or two, according to what I see here. Or actually, is it going to take longer? Yeah, it's about every 5 days. You can see a major move in there. And that's it. So this is Avax. And as I showed you, Suku and Filecoin, these are the coins that I've been asked in my AMA session. And I recommend that if you have a question, why don't you send me an email with a topic line addressed to whatever it is that you want to know. For example, if you want to know about Avalanche, more about Avalanche, you just put Avalanche news or Avalanche graph or Avalanche analysis and so on. So that way I be able to look into these better. I do know that there is talk about land in PancakeSwap and it's moving, but we're not going to research this today. We're going to leave that for tomorrow. So that way you have a chance to catch your breath and to see if these investments are right for you now or if they're worth revisiting at a later date. This is CeoTrades. If you want to double your money account, why don't you invest in your knowledge account so that your money account will grow multiplied? Stay safe, and until tomorrow,